With our program with an associate's degree, you're looking at $37,000 to $50,000.
So now I'm in the biomedical field. I work at Emory University Hospital.
Right now, the pay for a biomed type 1 starts at $22 an hour. It is a solid industry.
98.7 Chatt Tech, where 98.7% of our students earn a career. On today's episode, we're going to look at electrical and computer engineering technology. This is the program you want so you can gain the skills and knowledge needed for your career as an electrical and computer engineering technician. We're going to talk to an instructor, a current student, and a couple of program graduates to find out all the details, including how much money you can make when you finish the electrical and computer engineering technology program at Chattahoochee Tech.
When you finish this program at Chatt Tech, there are so many jobs you can do. Because the thing about the electrical and computer engineering discipline is that it is broad. It is extremely broad. So any company that requires any kind of electronics or any kind of applications that have computers in them, they're going to need engineering techs to help to install the equipment, to do preventative maintenance on the equipment, to fix the equipment if it's having issues.
Stephanie O'Donohue is the lead instructor of the Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology program.
Basically, what our program does is prepare engineering technicians. There are a lot of disciplines in engineering, and we focus on electrical and computer engineering, and we also have a specialization in biomed. So we have a lot of students who like to go forward and end up being biomed techs at the local hospitals and companies that do imaging and stuff like that.
Where exactly are Chatt Tech students getting jobs?
So our students have gone to a lot of places. Right now, the most popular are the hospitals, right? So probably every couple of weeks, I get a request for a biomedical tech. And so they're working at places like Wellstar. GE hires our students. They hire at least one student a year, if not a couple of students. Phillips. So that's the biomedical arena. We actually even had the VA who just contacted us. And once again, they need people. They need biomed technicians. But on the electronic specialization front, we have had people who worked for MARTA, right? Who worked for Hartsfield-Jackson in the logistics and in the keeping up with the luggage, tracking the luggage, that type of stuff. People don't think about the background of that. Once you check your luggage, what's happening. We have students who work there are some local companies like in Kennesaw where they are dealing with these computer boards, and they are doing stuff like gas station pump boards, right? And so they go in and they fix the boards and they give a warranty on them. We've had some students who work for like Southern Tea and automation. So in North Georgia, they have more manufacturing type companies. And so automation and robotics, our students get hired in those type of jobs as well. And we've even had a couple who did like programming at there's a couple of companies within Marietta where they create software to integrate different hospitals and stuff. And we've even had students who went off and worked there.
My name is Lee Chia. I started at Chattahoochee in 2009 and I graduated in 2011. I attended the Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology program, and I also did a specialization in Biomedical Engineering Technology. What made me choose this path was the fact that I wanted to be in healthcare, but not exactly in the clinical setting. And I have been at Wellstar since 2015 as a full-time employee. I started as a Biomed Tech 1, went into Biomed Tech 2, Biomed Tech 3, and now I am a biomedical supervisor, and I am actually in charge of the biomedical activities at North Fulton Hospital in Roswell.
Lee's training at Chattahoochee Tech has led him to having a good-paying, stable, and rewarding job.
Right now, the pay for a Biomed Type 1 starts at $22 an hour. It is a solid industry. Financially, it is a good, stable job. besides just the finances, I like my job because at the end of the day, when I go home, I can say, well, you know what, today, by fixing this device, per se, an anesthesia machine or a ventilator, today, by fixing this ventilator, I'm helping a physician keep this patient alive. This patient could be somebody else's father, could be somebody else's first and only son or daughter. So when we look at just a different aspect other than finance, to me, it brings me joy, it brings me peace. It makes me feel that I am contributing my little bit to the society. It makes me feel that I am giving back to my community.
So on average, when you finish with 2 years with our program with an associate's degree, you're looking at $37,000 to $50,000. 25% of my students go on and get a bachelor's degree. And, if you go that route, you're looking at coming out making 60, minimum. So it's a great paying job.
Stephanie says that you can make good money, and we know that Lee works at the hospital, but what else can you do with this program? Are there other jobs? What exactly is this program anyway?
Engineering technology is more about applying the engineering concept. So if you get a traditional engineering degree, it's very math and science heavy, and you don't even touch any type of equipment or anything until you finish physics, chemistry, several physics classes, chemistry, about 4 math calculus classes, right? With engineering technology, what we do is we apply it more, right? So you're not going to be designing systems normally. You're normally going to be implementing them. And so there is math and science, but not as heavily, but way more labs, way more hands-on type training. And so that's the difference between engineering and engineering technology. So you're going to learn about, let's say, Ohm's law, which is the penultimate theory in all electrical engineering, right? So you're going to learn that. But then what you're going to do is you're going to be working on a bunch of circuits where you're in the lab building these circuits, troubleshooting these circuits, analyzing these circuits. Or you're going to learn, if we go to the computer engineering aspect, you're going to learn about microcontrollers. And so your typical person might not know what a microcontroller is, but they know that if they have a smart app, right? And what makes your application smart is that there is a computer chip in them. That's the microcontroller. And so that's what's making stuff smart. So I have a Roomba, right? So you have your regular vacuum cleaner, and then you have your Roomba, which is a smart vacuum cleaner, right? And so it can map out your house. It has sensors on it so it doesn't bump into walls and stuff. And so it's that microcontroller that's inside of that appliance that makes it smart. And so that's what we kind of work on. So we work on stuff like that. And so basically you would be programming a microcontroller or interfacing it with, sensors or LCDs or, different things that make you be able to communicate with it.
Naomi is also a graduate of the Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology program.
I work at Emory University Hospital. I work for GE Healthcare. We have a contract with them. We work on the medical equipment. So when equipment goes down or when it's due for its routine inspection, that's what we do. The reason why I like the program is because of the hands-on and because of the instructors, where they really made it to where they could kind of tailor it to different learning styles,
And Naomi says that having professors with real-life experience is a big plus.
It's almost like if someone's just teaching you something and they don't really know what it's actually like in the field, they can't really pinpoint hey, this is super important. Make sure that you know this because you're going to need this. There are things like that, like the documentation thing, for example. It's one of those things that you don't think is super important. So things like that, it's hey, I know from experience, you're going to need to really, really pay attention and do this.
So my name is Elizabeth Johnson. I am from Cartersville, Georgia. I graduated from Woodland High School. I'm in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology pathway, and it's fantastic so far. It really helps me along with my internship I intern at Volkswagen Automotive as a controls engineering intern. So learning in this pathway and then corresponding that with my job has really helped a lot. I've grown a lot in engineering. Classes are very, very hands-on. So there's going to be a lot of lab work, and there is a lot of regular homework, just book work, but it's a really big focus on the laboratory assignments.
I do appreciate the hands-on work more so than just like academics, just because it gives you a more, kind of introduces you a little more to what you're actually going to see in the real world, per se, to just look at a piece of paper. I don't know if that makes sense.
The Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology program at Chattahoochee Tech is very hands-on, but you won't be on your own.
So what we say in this program is that we are here to help you fail, learn, and succeed, right? So success looks like understanding what your weaknesses are, being vulnerable enough to ask for the help and seek the resources that you need, and learning the things that you need to learn in order to be a successful engineer. So a lot of people feel like asking for help is a weakness or failing is failure, but it's not. If you learn, then you haven't failed. And so for us, what we want you to do is keep failing, because you're going to fail because you don't know everything, but then learn from it and grow and complete the program. But not only complete the program, go off and get a job. So for me, for some instructors, they feel like their job is done once they've taught their students. But I actively try to help my students get a job because I grew up poor. I had a working poor mom who was a teenage mom, and education is what lifted me out of poverty. Education is what helped me be successful financially. And so for me, I understand what it means to come from a background where you really have to struggle and how you want to go forward and succeed. And what I have found is that you have to be willing to ask for help, to ask questions, and then to work hard, to have that grit and not quit. And so for me, a student who is going to be successful in our program, they're not going to give up. They're not going to give up if they don't do as well as they thought they did in a class. They're going to come, they're going to get that help, and then they're going to do better in the next class. So that's what success looks like for me. It looks like failing quick and early and learning from it, and then moving on and going higher and doing better. That's what it means. And so that's what we try to get our students to do.
Not only do professors like Stephanie help their students to get jobs, but being a graduate of Chattahoochee Tech can open up a world of connections for you.
Actually, one of my friends that was in the program graduated a semester before me, and she got the internship here. And then they hired her on full time. And when she got hired on full time, they're like, well, now we need a new intern. And then I had just graduated. So she was like, hey, my friend just graduated. You should talk to her. So yeah, we work together now. There's another guy that works here that graduated from Chatt Tech like a year before me. And then there was another guy who graduated the same semester as me that got a job here.
Engineering technology is a male-dominated field, and Professor O'Donohue recognizes that.
My goal is to recruit more women, to let them know it's a great field, and financially, it's really a stable job. And I have seen most of my friends who are engineers, they usually don't really have money issues because it's very stable. It pays well if you can do it and you can get, you can be successful in it. It's very rewarding and it pays well and it can change your life. And I've had students, which, to me, it has really touched me the most and just is why I do it, who came in, they were poor. They may have had kids and stuff, and in 2 years, they have changed their lives. They've gotten this degree. They've gone off. They've got a career, not just a job. And it's a good paying job. It's not just a minimum wage job. And it has changed their lives for them and for their family. And so I really try to recruit more women into this field because it's just a hidden gem that they don't know about that could really change their lives.
This is a great pathway, and I'm excited to see more women, and specifically minority women in it. I think I saw one other female during my introductory class, and that was it. So I'm just really excited to see more women in it. We definitely need it.
We asked Naomi what she'd say to someone who is considering Chatt Tech.
I would refer them to the program. I'm just that way. I'm like, do the ECT program. It's awesome. One of my friends that the other day, he was like, I want to go back to school. I was like, what do you want to do? He was like, I don't know. So I told him, I was like, the program that I did is awesome. And there's so much you can do with it.
Did you hear that? There's so much you can do with it. So what are you waiting for? Get online and check out the Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology program at Chattahoochee Tech. Find out everything you need to know at chattahoocheetech.edu. This podcast is a production of BG Ag Group. Darren Sutherland, executive producer. Jeremy Powell, creative director. Jacob Sutherland, director. Producers Jason Generola and Matt Golden. And Casey Bird, copyright. All rights reserved. Find us online at bgaggroup.com.